Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning or good evening to everyone. Welcome to the Mainframe Guru YouTube channel. Today, I am going to discuss some real-time mainframe interview questions which are asked in Tech Mahindra. First question is: there is a file which is coming from a source, and job is having 5 steps. I don't want to create the files in the intermediary steps. I just want to create the final file in step 5. What will you do? uh, Job has 5 steps like S1, S2, S3, S4, and S5. In the first step, we are using the source file as input. Okay. And in the fifth step, we just want to create the output file, means final file. Okay. And in intermediary file which is creating in the step 2, step 3, step 5, we do not want to create those files. So what will we do so that these files do not created? Like you have first way is you can define like output file like this, and in the output file there should be this parameter like this. Like new is for the creation of the file, but it will not catalog the file. Okay, it will only create the file but not catalog the file. Okay, and pass is used to pass this file to the next steps. Okay, next steps. Okay, so and delete is used. Here is the delete at the third position. It means our file will automatically delete when the abandon occurs. But our job is completing successfully, so we are just creating the file and passing it into the next steps using the pass, but it will not catalog into the like our JCL. Means when our job will complete, this file will be deleted automatically. And like there is temporary dataset can be created by not specifying any DSN name. There are another's way, like this is the second way. You can create the temporary dataset by not specifying any DSN name. Like in this we have passed the only dummy, and in this we have passed this out. So we are not specifying DSN name here. Or there are one more option for creating the temporary file. You can use DSN equal to and temporary, means ampersand temporary. This way you can also create the temporary file so that it will not take space. Okay, and we use them to carry the output of one step to another steps in the same job. The data set will not be retained once the job completes. Okay, guys. And next question is: I have a job. There is a COBOL program in this job. Load modules are given in load library like A, B, C, and D in an order. And from where the module will pick. Like I have load library. Okay, load library. First is A library. Second is B library. Third is C library. And fourth is D library. And I have module which is present in the B library. Okay, module is present in B library as well as in D library. So from which library our module will be picked, means our load module will be picked. So it will first our JCL first will check it into the A library. So it is not available here, so then it will check into the B library. Yes, it is available there, so it will use that module. Further it will not use means it like we have first find here module, so it will use directly this module into the JCL. So this is the order. First it will check the first library, then second library, then third library, then fourth library. Okay. And how will we write the JCL for COBOL DB2 program? Like for non DB2 program, you will use simply step 01 exec program equal to my program. But to run a COBOL DB2 program, we have special utility IKJEFT01 utility which run the COBOL DB2 program. And in this step lib, we give the DBRM library. Okay, and like then we have input file, then output file, and but there is one special thing in this sys tsin. We use some parameter, like we are using the dsn system, and this is the subsystem id. Like some at some place you give the db2t for the testing, and like you also give db2p for the production region. And then you use the run program, and you will give your program name. Then you will use the plan, and here will be the plan name. And you will also use the palm you will use to passing the parameter to the COBOL program. And then you will use the library. This library is used to pick your load module. Means this is the library from where your module will be picked. Then you can use the end. So these are the parameter you should remember for an interview. I have a job and it is running with COBOL plus DB2 program. It is used to complete within 5 minutes. One day it is running for half an hour. How can I know whether it is going into loop or processing huge number of record? We also can't open the file or table. So what like our job is executing. Okay, job is running. Job is running. So here in this spool, you will check the exception counter. Okay, exception counter. If this exception counter is increasing, it means your job is not going into a loop. Or like if you can also like it is increasing, so it means your job is processing some records. And second option is you can check the source input file. Okay, source input file, but that file is not using into that. Okay, means in the previous step this source input file is using. And you can check how many record it means this input file has. So according to that you can decide whether your job is going into loop or not. Okay guys, first you can check this full, and then you can check the source input file. And one more option, you can also check the sysout if there are some display available into your program. So that will be means printed into your sysout in this pool. If like sysout is changing again and again according to the logic, it means your job is processing fine. And next question is, how will we override the nested proc statement? According to my thinking, a JCL or JCL proc can only override the next lower level proc. You can't override into more than one level of nested proc. Having said that, you can override the proc B from the proc A only. Okay. Modifying or additional JCL statement can only have proc step name, then dot name, or proc step name, or dot dd name. In their name field, do not specify backward reference to nested procedure, like such as proc step name dot proc step name dot dd name for the dd parameter. Okay, means you can't use this like this. Like for example, how to override in JCL for proc. Like you have first, you will give the proc step name, then you will give it dot name, means what parameter you want to change into your proc. So then you will give here output parameter. And in the like for the dd name, first you will give the proc step name, and which dd name you want to change from that proc. Okay, and then you will give your dd, then you will give here dsn file name. Okay, there is one example, like for the nested proc. Means how will you call the nested proc? You have one job. Okay, in the job you are calling the nested proc A. This is one first proc, proc A, and in the proc A, you are overriding the AS2 step, which is available into your proc. This is your AS2 step, and what DD name you are overriding? You are overriding this DD name. Okay, and you are giving then dd dsn name equal to g, disp equal to shr. So when you will run your jcl, it will override the file at this place. Okay, then next it like if first it will check the like procedure a, then here you will check in the procedure it is calling one more procedure, procedure b. So in the procedure b, it is overriding also the step bs2, and this is the dd name and this is the file name which will be override in this dd name. Okay, like you can see here bs2 dd2, so it is available into your procedure b. If you will see here, like this is the bs2, this is your bs2 step. Okay, and this is your dd name, so it will be changed to like when it will run, it will change to g. So it will be g while during running the job. And then our proc b is calling proc c. Okay, proxy. And but in this it is changing the step cs1. Okay, cs1, it is changing the dd name, this dd name, and the file name is the xyz. So this is the dd name which will be changed during the running of the job. And it is also adding one more means their dd name, like it is adding the in the step cs1. If you will see cs1, this dd name is not present. See cs1 dd3, there are only dd2. So what it will do, it will add this dd statement into your this step cs1. So this is the addition to the procedure c, and this is the valid override of procedure c step cs1 for dd this name. Okay guys, so for overriding the nested, overriding the nested proc, you should go like this. Like from a proc you can override only the b proc parameter only, or you can say you can override the dd name or parameter anything, and from the b you can override the parameters or dd name of c proc. So this will work like this. And there is next question. One job has 5 steps. Third step is vending, and I want to bypass third step. What will you do? Like I have step 01, step 02, and step 03. It is abandoned again and again. So for that we have to use the condition equal to 0 less than equal to the written code written by this step, because whatever written code will be written by them, either it will be equal to 0, or you can say or it will be less than the 0. So this condition will always be true, and this step will be bypassed, and then it will run for fourth step and then fifth step. Next question is, I have COBOL plus DB2 program in which I have a certain variables. Some are normal variable and some are host variable. How can I differentiate it just from the working storage section? What is difference between the copy and the include? If you see, both copy and include does the same work of expanding the layout defined in the copybook or declaration, but there are difference. Like member use with the include, okay, will get expanded at free compilation stage, and member which are used with the copy, it will be expanded at the compilation stage. Okay, the using include, it will be expanded at the pre-compilation stage, and using copybook it will be expanded at the compilation stage. So we normally like what is pre-compilation stage? Like you use the dsn hpc utility. This is the pre-compiler. So uh, during this running, means running of this utility, our member will be expanded. And like for the compilation time we use the IGY CRCTL utility. Okay, CTL, I think. Okay, so it will be expanded during running this utility. And so we normally use include to expand all DB to related member. Copy is used to expand COBOL file layout. You cannot use copy to expand DB to member, but you can use include to expand COBOL file layout. Okay, if you use a copy to expand DB to Decalgel member, your program will be fail at pre-compilation stage, saying most of the host variables are not defined. This happen because copy member will get expanded only at the compilation stage, that is after pre-compilation. And if you keep any of the host variable in any COBOL copybook, then you should expand that with the include only. Otherwise, your program will fail at the pre-compilation stage itself due to missing host variable declaration. So you should remember include in member of include will be expanded at pre-compilation time, and member of copybook it will be expanded during the compilation. Like this, you are using copy verb, so it will expand the members or variables during the compilation time, and in the include it will expand it at the pre-compilation time. And I have a COBOL DB2 program and have SQL query. That SQL query give us many record. How would you handle it? Like I am fetching the data, select star from, okay, like you are fetching some data. Okay, so in the subquery, what you have written here equal. So what will happen here? Select star from, like this is your employee table. Okay, employee table. And what have you done? Employee table where department ID is equal to 1003. So you will see here there are three 1003 department ID. So it will return all these three record, and this is in the subquery. So like you have written two query, this is subquery and this is main query. Select star from employee. Okay, you should write here department ID. Okay, department ID. And you can write here where department ID. Okay, so what here we are doing here, it will return the three means three record department ID again and again, like 1003 1003 1003. So it will give us SQL code minus 811. Okay, to handle this, scenario, we have the cursor concept, because cursor handle these type of like these type of scenario. Like there are three records are coming, so it will fetch the one by one record, and we can process the record one by one. Okay, so we can use the cursor, and the cursor can handle it very in a very better way. And what is difference between vsem and a flat file? In vsem, records are stored in control interval, whereas in flat files, records are stored in blocks. Flat files are sequential read. vsem files can be sequential and random read. In vsem, access is fast because of organization of records. Okay. And next question is, why do we use withhold option? Uh, for example, I have like 1 crore record. Okay, and if I will submit my job, means I have one table and it has 1 crore record. If I submit my job to update all the 1 crore record at once, okay, so my job will be failed due to the region issue or space issue. Okay, so what happened to avoid this? We break the record, like we first update the 1 lakh record. Okay, 1 lakh record. Then next from the 1 lakh plus 1 to uh, 2 lakh record. Okay, same like this we go. And so we do the commit at each stage. Like first we will save this data, updated data, then from the 1 lakh plus first record to the 2 lakh record. So when we do the commit, our cursor close automatically. Okay, our cursor close. So to keep the cursor open, we use the withhold option. To keep the cursor open after committing. Okay, so to keep the cursor open after commit, we use the withhold option. Next question is, we write a SQL query for fetching the maximum salary for each department ID with employee ID. So like you are fetching here, you have this table. So there are like number of department ID, like there are 1001 and 1001. And so in this department ID there are two-person available. So I have to fetch that record whose salary is higher. So like it has the higher salary, so it will fetch this record. And same like for the 1002, there are only one, no, there are no other person available, so it will write this record. But in case of 1003, if you have seen here, there are three-person available, but the highest salary has Deepak has the highest salary, so it will fetch the salary. So how will you we write this query? We write like select star from star from employee table, and you will use the group by clause. Group by department ID having maximum salary. So your output or your like query result will be like this. Thank you guys. That's all from my side. Please like the video and subscribe the channel. If you have any question or any doubt, please write that down into the below comment box.